Yes, that'd be.
And it just has to be, 5 to the power of something.
So hold on, it's got a fucking. So just a minute. Molly, I'm leaving my dog outside. I can't fucking have her in the living room. She's distracting. Oi, stop. Sorry about that. 5 times. So would that be 5 times 5, 7 times, pretty much?
So you might not know the short way of doing it. So this one up the top, by cancelling down, so another way of writing this fraction is 5 over 5 times 5 over 5 times, and then the rest of them are just 5 times 5 times 5. Or divided by 1, which is the same thing. What is 5 divided by 5?
So 5 divided by 5. 1.
And so you get 1 times 1 times 5 times 5 times 5. What is a short way of writing 5 times 5 times 5? That would be 5 to the power of what?
5.
Here there's only 3 of them.
Oh, 5. Would that be squared or would it be to the power of 5?
Well, how many 5s are there?
3.
Yeah, and so that's to the power of 3. And then times 1 times 1. Will that change anything?
No.
No. And so it's just 5 to the 3. What is the quick way of going from having 5 and 2 to just 3?
I'm not sure.
So 5, 2 equals 3. What operation goes in the middle?
Say 5 minus.
Yes. And so the quick way of dividing indices is you copy the base and subtract the powers. So this one up here, cancelling down, is like that. 5 over 5 is 1, 5 over 5 is 1, and you're left with just 3 5s, which you write as 5 to the power of 3. You just copy the base, big 5, and then it's 5 minus 2, which is 5 to the 3. Quick way of doing this one, or what is the answer? 7 to the 9 divided by 7 to the 3.
Not quite sure.
Or try the bottom one. 5 to the 7 divided by 5 to the 3.
Would it be 4?
Yeah, so it's 5 to the power of 4. 7 5s on top, 3 5s on bottom, and if you cancel them out like we did at the top, you're left with just 4 5s, so 5 to the 4. And so what would this one be with the 7s?
7 to the power 6.
Well done. Yeah, so the 3 7s underneath cancel out 3 on the top, and so you're left with just 6 of them. So you copy the base, subtract the powers. Exam questions. Let's try top left.
Minute stop. 7 to the power of 3.
How about left middle?
And to the power of 2.
How about middle top?
H5.
Yeah, it's just a different way of writing it. Over is the same as divided by.
Yeah.
And then how about top right? Tricky one.
G minus 7, 6.
Well done. 2 minus 7 to the 6. I can divide indices, x a half or tick.
I'd say half.
Okay, well you're able to do every exam question, so I'm happy with that. What would you get here?
A1.
So that's A1. If I did it the long way, 3 A's on top, 2 A's on the bottom. Any number divided by itself is 1. So A divided by A is 1. A divided by A is 1. 1 times 1 times A is just A. What are you left with?
A1.
Yeah.
Or 1A.
Yes. And so what that shows you is that A to the power of 1 is the same as A. So if you see a letter by itself, you know the way that's the same as 1A? It's also the same thing. A by itself is the same as A to the power of 1. So if you have x by itself, that's the same as x to the power of what?
X to the power of 2.
No.
So can you say that again?
So when you have A by itself, that's the same as A to the power of 1. So x by itself is the same as x to the power of
1.
Yeah, that's it. If you see a letter with no power, it just means to the power of 1. That's what it means. Okay, simplify this up here.
E to the power of 3.
So that's A to the 3. And for normal numbers, you're just dividing it normally.
Okay.
So what is 12 divided by 3?
4.
Well done. Okay, try A down here.
14. 2G2.
Brilliant. Try B, tricky one.
4F6.
Well, 6 divided by 2.
Oh, sorry, 3.
Yeah. And
would it be 6?
Well, if you have F by itself.
Oh no, that'd be 5, would it?
If you have F by itself, that's F to the power of
1.
And so what would you get there?
Oh, 4.
Yes, that's the trick there. And what's tricky about these is you're dividing both of them, but the way you divide indices is by subtracting. So you divide the normal numbers and you subtract the indices. So you have a mix of stuff going on. Okay, C. It's written a different way, but it's the same thing. Try it.
What one? C or D? C.
C, yeah.
Okay. 4x2. Oh no, 3x2, sorry.
Yeah, no, everyone makes that mistake. And try D.
3w2.
3w squared. Okay. And the quick way of doing these is number in front divided by number in front, and then same letter divided by same letter, which you do by subtracting. So you have a mixture of dividing and subtracting. Okay, 3 terms. Try this.
3x2y4.
Brilliant. Okay, exam questions, top left.
So top left, 5a4b3.
Brilliant. Top right.
2t4.
So 4 minus 2 is 2. What is 2 minus 4?
Minus 2.
Yeah, so it's tricky. And C.
3, A, 4, F, 6.
So you were close with the 4. It's not 5 take 1, it's 1 take 5.
-4.
-4, that's it.
Trying to catch you up.
Yeah. I can divide indices with 3 terms.
No.
Could be halfway between.
Yeah, half.
Halfway between a half and 2, so maybe. I'm going to skip lots of this stuff. A to the 6 over A to the 6. So that's A to the 6 take away 6. What is that?
A1, 8 with half 1, or just A?
6 take away 6.
0.
Yep, and so it's A to the power of 0. A to the 6, so if A was 2, it would be 2 to the 6. Whatever number A is. What is any number divided by itself?
Sorry, say that again.
What is any number divided by itself? So 3 divided by 3, 7 divided by 7, 5 divided by 5.
No, it's not a square or a power.
No, just in general, like 2 divided by 2.
I'm honestly not sure, sorry.
How many 2's in 2?
1.
How many 7's in 7?
1.
How many 5's in 5?
1.
And so any number divided by itself?
1.
Yeah, and so A to the 6 divided by A to the 6 will also be 1, because A will just be some number. And what that shows you is that any number to the power of 0 is 1, because it must have been divided by itself.
Okay. Are you going to take on a walk for a minute, Molly?
Chelsea's coming to pick us up.
What Chelsea? Oh, is she going to a doggy walk?
Yeah.
Alright.
Going straight by the front door.
If that's okay, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, bye Molly, love you.
I don't love you.
So, carry on.
Right. Top left, 3 to the power of 0.
3.
No. Any number to power 0?
0.
So if it's to the power of 0, it must have been divided by itself, because it's taken away from itself.
1.
Yeah. So 3 to the 0?
3 to the 0. 1.
5 to the 0?
1.
M to the 0?
1. 4.
And
Yeah.
bottom right.
1.
Yeah, that's it. Any number to power 0 is always 1, no matter what. M could be anything. I can raise indices to the power of 0.
I'd say mid top, like the middle bit in between the tick and the half.
Okay, yeah, and it's always going to be 1, and so the trick is to just kind of remember anything to the 0 is 1, and this is where it comes from. A number divided by itself as an index will be taken away from itself, so it'll always be 0. Okay, let's try these. 3 divided by a third. Do you know what that is? Sorry, 3 times a third.
Huh?
There's a key in the door.
What, on the outside?
Yeah. No, inside. This way.
Sorry, hold on a minute, Dara.
Okay.
There's a key on in the door.
Hey, I'll stay there.
There's a key in the door.
Yeah.
There. That's what I mean. If you can get out, I'm not going to lock the door.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant there's a key in the door on the outside there.
Okay, bye, darling.
Alright, bye, I love you. Hey, be careful, Vox. Oi, come on. Sorry. Carry on, Dara.
Question A, 3 times a third.
3 times a third. Oi, no, stay over there. Sorry, fucking cat now. Over there, come on. No, don't sit. Oi, off. Sorry, carry on.
So
first
times a third. Would that be a third? Would it be for power of 3? I don't think so, but
no powers.
mm,
Well, what is 3 divided by 1?
3 divided by 1. 3.
Yep. And so you could write it as 3 over 1, or 3 divided by 1 is the same as 3, times 1 over 3.
Hmm?
What do you get there if you multiply those?
3 over 3.
And what is 3 divided by 3?
1.
Yeah. And so 3 times a third is 1. Part B, 2 times a half.
Would it be the same thing again, like summing, or what is it?
Yeah, you could do it the same way.
I don't know how you say it, but
So 2
2
can be written as 2
1.
over 1 times 1 over 2.
Over 2. So that'd be 2 over 2, and that would be 1.
Yeah. Next one.
Like 1, could it be 5 over 1 times 1 over 5 again?
Yep.
Yeah. So that'd be 5 over 5, 1.
Yeah. And so you can see there, 3 times a third gives you 1, 2 times a half gives you 1, 5 times a fifth gives you 1, 8 times what will give you 1?
8 times. Would it be 1/8?
Yep. And 7 times what will give you 1?
1/7.
Well done. The reciprocal of a number is what it must be multiplied by to make 1. And so the reciprocal of 3 is a third, the reciprocal of 2 is a half, the reciprocal of 1/8 is 8, the reciprocal of 5 is 1 over 5, and so on. Okay, write down the reciprocal for each of these.
What's the... Sorry, go back to the last slide. Reciprocal, isn't it?
What you would have to times it by to make 1. So the reciprocal of 8 is 1 over 8, reciprocal of 7 is 1 over 7.
Okay, I think I get it now. So the first one, would it be 1 over 6?
Yeah.
Then 1 over 11.
Mm-hmm.
Then... Hold on. So then... 1. Would it be 4?
Yeah, it's 4. It's just the other one.
Yeah. 4 and then 9.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, what do you get when you multiply these?
Oh, sorry, my mate stands there. I've just got to... He's come to fix the door, so...
Okay.
Just got to let him in a sec.
Yeah, Stan. Alright, mate.
So you can lock back the bedroom.
Yeah, I'll just leave it on that.
Let me go on. Not open fully, so.
Cheers, Sam. Okay, I'm back. Sorry. Got a busy day today. So... 2 over 2 over... Would it be 3 over 3 for the first one?
So it's like 2 times 3 over 3 times 2. you just multiply across. What do you get?
You got 6/6.
What is 6 divided by 6?
1.
Yeah. Next one.
14/14 and then 1.
Yep. Next one.
55/55 and then 1.
And so the reciprocal of a fraction is you just flip it upside down. So what's missing for the next one?
Equals 13/6. 8/9. That's a big yawn. And then 10/17.
Well done. Okay, 1.6. I'm not sure. No, we better do it. Okay, so 1.6, do you know how to write that as a mixed number or as a fraction in any form?
So that Hoxie, I can have a guess on the keyboard. So Hoxie, come on, move. So just. But sorry about that. So 1.6. Mixed number. What's the mixed number? Sorry.
Or a fraction of any kind.
Okay. 1/6.
Nope.
Would that be 1?
So a mixed number would be 1 and 6/10. 1.6, 1 and 6/10. Do you know how to convert that into an improper fraction?
No, sorry.
That's all right. So 1 and 6/10 means 1 plus 6/10. 1 is the same as 10/10 plus 6/10. And so what would you get there? 10/10 plus 6/10.
1/10. Bloody hell. I'm not sure. So I'm not sure.
10/10 plus 6/10. In total 16/10.
Okay.
So you just add the two numerators, copy the denominator. So that is 16/10. What is the reciprocal of 16/10?
So reciprocal, that's the number that's times now.
So it's like these ones we did on the right.
Yeah. Okay, so 16/10, that's 10/16 times 16/10.
Just 10/16.
Yeah.
It's just a number it needs to be multiplied by. Yeah, so if you have to turn a decimal, if you have to find the reciprocal of a decimal, just turn it into a fraction and flip the fraction. Yep. Okay. So let's say the reciprocal of the first one, A.
Reciprocal of the number. How would you do it with a single number? Would it be
Uh,
8 over 1 or...
it's like these ones.
Oh, okay. So it would be like 1 over 8 pretty much, or 8 over 1.
1 over 8, yeah. 8 times 1 over 8. How about C? 4.8.
1 over 4.8.
Oh. It is 1 over 4.8. I don't know if it's a calculator question though. If it was, you would then just put that into your calculator.
Mm.
And it would say 5 over 24. What if it wasn't? Would you know how to write 4.8 as a fraction?
I think so.
Okay, try it. So 4.8, what would that be as a fraction?
Would it be 8 over 4? No. No, 1.
So remember 1.6 was 1 and 6/10.
Mm-hmm.
So
Would it
4.8?
be 4 and summing, or...
4 and 8/10.
Okay.
Would you know how to write that as one fraction? An improper fraction.
Maybe. Improper fraction. Would it be... No, I wouldn't know. Sorry.
So 4, that's the same as 40 over 10 plus the 8 over 10. What do you get if you add those two?
48 over 10.
Yeah. And so what is the reciprocal of 48 over 10?
So reciprocal.
Mm-hmm. And so it's similar to these ones on the right.
Okay.
It's the reciprocal of a fraction. So the reciprocal of 48 over 10?
10 over 8.
10 over... This is 48 over 10.
Mm-hmm.
And so the reciprocal?
10 over 48.
Yeah. And if you half the top and bottom, what do you get?
So if you times the...
So if you did half of 10, half of 48, what would you get?
5 and 24.
Yeah, and that's what the calculator said. The calculator just gave it in its simplest form. Yes, so if you always just do 1 over that number. If it's a calculator question, you could just put it in as 1 over 4.8. If it's non-calculator, change it to a fraction, then flip the fraction. Part D, reciprocal.
Would it be 3?
So it'll involve a 3. How do you find the reciprocal of a fraction? How did we get the reciprocal of 48 over 10?
Oh. So I'm really tired today.
It's alright, you just flip the fraction.
Yeah.
So reciprocal of 2 over 3?
3 over 2.
Yeah, and if you multiply those two, you would get 1. So that's how we know it's correct. Exam questions. Reciprocal of 5.
One over 5.
Yeah. And how do you find the reciprocal of 1.25?
Um, hmm. Oh, I know how to do it for like single numbers, but not decimals. Would it be?
What if it was a calculator paper? What would you do?
If it was a calculator paper. I don't know, to be honest.
Well, 5 was 1 over 5. 1.25 reciprocal.
1.25 over 1.
1 over 1.25.
Okay.
And so you could put that into your calculator. 1 over 1.25. So it says it's 4 over 5. What if it was non-calc? Any idea how to do that?
No.
Do you know what 1.25 is as a fraction?
So 1.25 is a fraction, wouldn't that be 1, like for a big 1, and 25 over 10?
Be 25 over 100.
Okay.
Or do you happen to know what 0.25 is as a fraction? You might just know it.
Water?
A quarter, yeah. So 1 and a quarter. 25
Okay.
over 100 is a quarter. Any idea how you turn that into or what that is as an improper fraction?
No.
So 1 and a quarter means 1 plus a quarter. How many quarters in one whole unit?
4.
Yeah. And so 1 is 4 quarters plus 1 quarter. What's the answer?
5 over 8.
You just copy the denominator.
5 4.
Yeah, 5 quarters. And so the reciprocal?
4 over 5.
And what did the calculator say?
12 over 5.
Yeah. And so to find the reciprocal, turn it into a fraction and flip the fraction. Or if it's a calculator question, you can just put it as 1 over and put that in. Any questions there?
No.
And I suppose, you know how 5 you can write as 5 over 1?
Mm.
And that's why its reciprocal is 1 over 5. It's just a fraction flipped. I can find the reciprocal of a number.
I'm alright with single numbers, but I'm still not alright with decimal points.
Okay, maybe you have.
Yeah.
So the decimals. Well, the decimals are rare. So this one is tricky. What would you do? What would you get if you cancelled down this top left one? Any idea how you cancel down?
No.
So the way you cancel down is you cancel out.
Maybe for power or something like that. So it'd be like 10 to the power of 2 or something.
Well, yeah, you could do it that way. Just by cancelling. 10 divided by 10 is 1. So we can cancel down the same thing from the top and bottom. 10 divided by 10 is 1. We can cancel those down. So we're left with just 1 on the top. And what's left on the bottom?
Um. End of the path? No. 5?
Well, we cancelled down 2 of the 10s from the bottom.
No, 3.
Yeah, and so it's 1 on the top, 10 to the 3 on the bottom. 1 over 10 to the 3. So another way to write this question is like you were saying, 10 to the 2 divided by 10 to the 5. Using our index rule, what would you get for that? 10 to the 2 divided by 10 to the 5. How do you do that?
Please say that again.
So 10 to the 2 divided by 10 to the 5. So part B. That gives you 10 to the power of 1.
3.
Say it again.
And for 3.
So that would be 5 minus 2. This is 2 minus 5?
Minus 3.
Minus 3, yeah. And so the same question written a different way gives you 2 different answers. And so we know that the 2 answers must be the same as each other because it was the same question. So that shows us that 1 over 10 to the 3 is the same as 10 to the minus 3, or 10 to the minus 3 is equal to 1 over 10 to the positive 3. Okay, similar thing. Try the x's up here. X to the 3 divided by x to the 5. What do you get?
X minus 2.
And if we cancel down these x's, so it's the same question, just written a different way. If we cancel down these x's, what do we get? What fraction do we get?
X2.
So that's 1 over x to the 2. And so same question, written 2 different ways. And so that shows us that x to the minus 2, which was the first answer, is the same as 1 over x to the positive 2. And try the next one with the x's.
Would it be x3 minus x4, x minus 1?
Yeah. And if you were to do the cancelling down method, what answer would you get?
x1.
Yeah. So 1 over x to the 1. And so that shows you that x to the minus 1 is the same as 1 over x to the 1. Can you see any pattern with the answers?
Yeah.
Any idea what it is?
Oh, they all have. Bless you.
Thank you.
They all have 1s at the top and. Don't know if that's something, but yeah.
So x to the minus 3 gave us 1 over x to the positive 3. X to the minus 2 gave us 1 over x to the positive 2. X to the minus 1 gave us 1 over x to the 1. Any idea what you think would be x to the minus 5?
One over x 5.
Well done. Yeah. And so basically, if you have a negative index, you do the reciprocal 1 over, like we were doing before, and that gets rid of the negative. So x to the minus 5 is the reciprocal of 1 over x to the plus 5. It gets rid of the minus.
No.
Yes. Okay, try this one. So h to the minus 3, what is that?
Wait, is it x to the minus 3?
H to the minus 3.
Yeah. H3.
If I go here, what if it was h to the minus 3?
H. So H3, or no, I've said that. So
So use the answers on the left.
1 over H3.
It's 1 over h to the plus 3 to the positive 3. Exam questions. 5 to the minus 1.
Sorry, 5 minus 1. 1 over 5, 1.
And what is 5 to the 1?
1.
No.
Or 5.
Yeah, so the short way of 1 over 5. Okay, how about 5 to the minus 2?
1 over 5, 2, and 2 over 5.
No, 1 over 5 to the 2. What is 5 to the 2, or 5 squared?
$25.
Yep, so that's 1 over 25. Next one, 3 to the minus 2.
Um, one over 3, 2.
And can you make that simpler?
One over 9.
Yeah. And let's try bottom right.
1 over 2, 3. And that'd be 8, or 1 over 8.
1 over 8, that's it. I can simplify indices with negative powers.
That's it, it's in the middle in between the tick.
Okay. What would this one be up here? X to the 3 times x to the 4.
X to the power 7.
Brilliant. How about this one down here? 2 to the 5 times 2 to the 6.
I'm not sure, to be honest. Would you make
What's the quick way of going from, in the previous one, having 3 and 4 to just 7?
2 to the power 1?
In the previous one, you had x to the 3 times x to the 4. In total, 7 x's. So the
11.
Yep, 2 to the 11. That's it. So it's not dividing, it's times. So you copy the base, add the powers. Top left.
Top left. Ten. No, 5 to a 10.
Yeah. Underneath it.
A9.
Well done. Middle.
X6.
And top right.
2, 6.
Well done. 2 to the 6, so n is 6. I can multiply indices.
Tick.
What is a half plus a half?
A whole.
Yeah, 1. Oh, we have to do this thing. Okay, try this one at the top.
Will it be 6A8?
Brilliant. And I think you'll be fine for the next one. Okay, 3 terms.
Top one or the bottom one?
Top one.
Nine X 5Y9.
And it's not 9. What is it?
This is one.
The number in front.
Oh, so 20.
Yeah. And the one down here. Bottom question.
15 S5 T6.
Top left.
5X 5. Oh no, 5X 7
No.
X4.
So same letter times same letter.
Oh, is that not an X? Is that a times in the middle?
Yeah, that's times in the middle.
Oh, so I thought that was an X.
Okay.
So 5X 6Y 4.
Well done. Top right.
10A 5B4.
And top bottom right.
28A4B -3.
Minus 2 plus 5.
3.
Well done. I can multiply indices with 3 terms.
Yep.
Okay, what would you get for this one top left?
Would it be? Is it 5 times 5?
So I would do the top separately and then do the bottom. So what would you get on the top?
5 9.
No.
25. Oh no, sorry. 5 8. No. 5 7. Sorry.
It's alright. And then what would you get?
Yes. What? Sorry, carry on.
Go on. And then what would you get when you divide those?
Yeah, I'll feed you in a minute. Yeah, hold on. Hold on. I need to divide them. Yeah, come on. 5 1.
7. So dividing, you take away.
Oh, sorry, 5 2.
Yeah. And try this one down here with the T.
The T. Yes. T. Wait, stay there for. Stay there, stop. T. So T6 on the bottom, then you'd have T8 at the top. Divide and that'd be, or just whatever it's called, T2.
Yeah, that's it. Exam questions. Let's try top right.
P2 at the bottom, and then sorry, P7.
Yeah.
So, and then that would be P5.
That's it. Got it. I can multiply and divide indices.
Tick.
Well done. So this one we won't get on to. Some stuff. We got most of it. This is some of the higher stuff. And then this is the little test at the end. What would you get for this one, the M's?
So you say that again?
What would you get for the M's? Or
The
how-
M's.
Yeah.
M2.
Yeah. And so the way you divide indices is you subtract the powers.
Mm.
What would you get for 7 to the power of 0?
7 pounds, 0.
No.
Wait, no, 7.
No. Any number to the power of 0?
1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you get for a to the 4 times a to the 3?
4 times. A1.
That's divided by. This is times.
So, A12.
How do you multiply indices?
Oh, do you add them up?
Yeah.
Oh, so that would be A7.
And so to multiply indices, you add the powers. Do you remember how to do 5 to the minus 2? How you do that one?
Minus 2. So what question is this?
This one down here. So these are all just past exam
yeah.
questions that I took out.
5 to minus 2. No,
That's the. We'll do a similar one. So this one here, 2 to the minus 4. That is the one. It's the same as the reciprocal, 1 over 2 to the positive 4.
so that'd be 1 over 2 to negative 4 then.
So well, this is 1 over 2 to the positive 4.
Mm-hmm.
That gets rid of the negative. And so 5 to the minus 2, what would that be?
1 to the 5, 2.
Yeah. And can you make that simpler? 1
No,
over, 1 over 5 squared?
1 over 25.
Well done. That's it. So to divide indices, subtract the powers. To multiply indices, add the powers. Anything to the power of 0 is 1. And to the power of a negative is 1 over the same to the power of the positive.
Okay.
And then the other half we'd have to do another time. How did you find that, Dylan?
Easy. I'm still not that used to it because I haven't done it in a while, so, but
No, it's good.
Hmm.
Do you want to continue this next time, finish it, or something
Uh,
else?
yeah, let's finish this off.
Okay.
And we,
Okay. Any questions for me in general?
no.
Okay. Well done, Dylan. You're doing great. I look forward to talking again next week.
Okay. Bye.
Have a good week. Goodbye.
See you.